Toll from the coronavirus in China nears 500 with no sign of a slowdown in infections. We speak to a student tonight who is under lockdown at Hubei University in Wuhan. Wuhan is the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak where it was first detected. South Africa's Kamohelo Taole is among those trapped there. He joins me now via Skype. A very good evening to you, Kamohelo. Of course, the disease, which is thought to have originated in Wuhan late last year, has so far killed almost 500 people. Good evening to you, Kamu. Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I mean, how are you basically holding up, and are you safe? Let's start there.
Honestly, I am terrified because I'm currently at the epicenter of this epidemic. And as this virus started at a local fish market not so far away from my university, so it's a bit terrifying. On the safety part, the school is trying to keep us safe from the virus by limiting human interaction with other people. So we are kind of safe, but we can't be safe for sure.
You know, just paint a picture for us, Kamu. I've been speaking to you throughout, last week. Are you currently in lockdown at the university in Wuhan? Explain to us your situation there.
Yes, we are currently on lockdown, and we have been on lockdown for a little over 2 weeks now. And in a sense that we can't even leave our rooms. We spend 24 hours in our rooms with nothing to do. And so this is kind of scary because we feel like we're in prison with no escape. So literally the gates are closed, the streets are closed, everything is closed, even the shops, everything. So we can't go anywhere, you can't do anything because of this virus.
I'll get to how you're feeding yourself, as you remain in lockdown there. But I understand that in order to try and ensure that you're okay, are you checking your temperature every morning together with other South Africans that are there?
Yes, we are currently using some type of device that actually monitors your body temperature. And then that's a way of monitoring whether you have the symptoms or not. So we do that in the morning and in the evening, just to ensure that you don't have it.
That sounds very scary. Is there any assistance for you there in terms of health personnel, in terms of perhaps those from the Chinese health authorities?
Not at all, not at the moment. They are just providing us with surgical masks and surgical gloves so that we can practice proper hygiene, because you have to be clean all the time in order to be safe from the virus.
So what are you doing in terms of food and water supplies? I spoke to some South Africans in other parts, but you're at the epicenter of where this virus broke out. How are you getting food? How are you getting water? How are you getting access to anything to keep you warm?
Now the whole city is using one supermarket, so you can just imagine, because in Wuhan we have 11 million people currently, so we're using one supermarket, so we are running out of food and water, and the school is trying its level best to provide us, but the food is expensive, as you can guess, because of this virus. So it's kind of hard because we are running out of supplies.
Whew. I understand you also get a stipend from the university. I was speaking to your relative a bit earlier on today, and she told me you're running out of that as well. Are you in touch with any other South Africans in Wuhan? How many are there that you know of at this stage?
We are a little over 100, but we try our level best to check up on each other. But we can't interact physically because you're not supposed to be in crowded areas or anything. So we use social networks and phone calls just to check up on each other.
So I know that the Brits and the Americans are evacuating their citizens. Are you aware of this? And, have South African authorities been in contact with any of you there?
Yeah, we tried to, we pleaded with the South African authorities and the embassy back in Beijing, telling them that we want to be evacuated because we can see the seriousness of this virus because we are at the epicenter. So, to keep us safe from this before things get out of hand, we have to be evacuated. Even earlier last week, students from Morocco and Bangladesh were evacuated from our university. So that hurt us a lot because our government is saying that they don't see any evidence of a person that has this virus from South Africa, so they can't evacuate us.
All right, so calls for evacuation by some students there in Wuhan, the epicenter of the coronavirus. Kamohelo speaking to us there. Kamohelo, just before we wrap up, has anyone, in terms of South African authorities said when perhaps they would look at moving you to another area as well? I know, for example, those who had traveled from Wuhan to Tianjin are now in isolation. So do you know anything about when some movement will be made? I know that you've graduated from the university there and you were scheduled to come home, and you're being told that's not going to happen now.
That's not going to happen because no one can enter or exit Wuhan at this stage because the subway stations, the airports, everything is closed. It's not operating as usual. So currently, there's no other way. The only way we can get out of this place is if the government tells the Wuhan government that we need our students because of this virus. That's when they can take initiative.
Kamohelo, please continue.
So the government has to step forward and talk to the government of Wuhan that we need our South African citizens to be evacuated from this place. That's the only way it's going to work.
Kamohelo, I really wish we had more time to speak to you here on SABC News. Thank you very much for talking to us live from Wuhan. That's, of course, in China, the epicenter of where the coronavirus had broken out. Him speaking to us there, a university student at Hubei University. And he's saying they're on lockdown at the moment. They're not allowed to move anywhere. He graduated from that university in Wuhan in January. So the virus, of course, itself broke out, and now they're being told they're not going to move from there. I also managed to speak to his parents just a couple of hours ago. SABC News will be airing that story in just a couple of hours. But please, for evacuations at this stage, when we spoke, of course, to the authorities, health authorities here in South Africa during the course of the monitoring of this virus and ensuring that it does not reach South Africa's shores, the Health Minister, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, had said that the Chinese government says at the moment there is no need to evacuate foreign nationals. But as you've heard, some of the South African students there are calling to be evacuated. We'll move on to another story now.